So, where we left off yesterday, we made a purchase of the 2000 advertising flyers for 5 cents each, and we made a down payment of 50% because we're gonna pick it up, and when we pick it up, we're gonna pay the rest. Usually, that's what printer companies usually do. They expect you to pay at least half now, and then upon pickup, you pay the rest. Okay. So that's the last thing that we already did. So now here we are on the 12th, and what happened here? What did we receive?
Inventory.
We received inventory. Now, what kind of inventory?
Coffee.
Yes, but what kind of inventory?
Perpetual.
We bought perpetual inventory. So that means we need to enter this information into our inventory worksheet. So again, first things first is I'm going to make sure that I checked off my purchase orders. All right. So I'm going to go all the way out to purchase orders and double confirm that I received the 250 pounds of coffee. And what invoice was this?
315.
315. Good. 315. All right. So I'm going to go back to my journal because I want to make sure I journalize that I received it and then plug it into my inventory worksheet. All right. So first things first is how do I journalize perpetual inventory?
Everything goes into inventory.
Everything goes into inventory. So let's check out my chart of accounts. What is considered inventory?
$12,000.
12,000 is inventory, but let's look. Is there a specific account that I can place it in?
Yeah, there's regular coffee and supreme coffee.
Yes, regular coffee and supreme coffee. So here we got 1220 and 1240. Okay, so here I'm going to place it directly into my inventory, which in this case is specified that I have regular coffee for 12,020, and I have supreme coffee for 12,040. Okay, now at how much is each coffee, and at what grand total am I going to be subject to pay? How much was each coffee in total?
Looks like the regular was 168.75, and the supreme was 193.75.
168.75 and 193.75, giving me a grand total of 362.50. All right. Now, did I received a bill? Am I going to pay now or am I going to pay later? So am I going to pay now or am I going to pay later? I'm going to pay later. Good. So in this case, I'm going to go ahead and indicate that this is an accounts payable. So I'm going to pay them later. So first things first is who's this vendor? This is Atlas Coffee. Imports, comma, invoice number 315. And my terms are 1%, 15, net 30. Okay. Now that my journal is completed, all right, now I'm going to enter everything into my ledger. Okay. So we are using regular and Supreme coffee for the first time. So I hit my assets and I'm going to scroll all the way up to inventory. All right, they should be the long ones. Here we are. Regular coffee. It is June 12th right now. And this is where you're going to enter in all the information. So in this case, how many pounds of coffee did I buy? How many pounds of the Supreme coffee did I buy? I'm sorry, of the regular coffee. 125.
125.
So here, I'm going to write here that I purchased 125 pounds, LBS. Okay. Post reference is general journal number, I believe this is 4. Yes, it is. It's general journal number 4. And we're going to debit the account for the 168.75. And it's because it's the first beginning, we are going to have a debit balance. So I'm going to highlight and format this real quick. Okay. Then right below it, I have my Supreme coffee. Same thing, I'm going to enter the same exact thing that I purchased. 125 pounds. Okay. General journal number 4. And this time I'm debiting it for 193.25. Same thing. Say that again? 193.75. Okay, thank you. 193.75. And therefore, my beginning balance is going to be 193.75. Okay, I'm going to format this real quick. So this is our first time we made a purchase of inventory. So again, we will utilize this table every time we make a purchase and every time we make a sale of an item. So again, expect this to be calculated multiple times because we're a coffee shop. We open 7 days a week. Okay, so that means we're going to be journalizing 7 days of coffee, whether we purchase it or whether we sell it. All right, for sure we're going to sell it at least 7 days a week, and we're going to be monitoring 2 weeks of it. So expect that into the future, that we will be making changes and adjustments to this particular ledger. All right. And then lastly, I need to update my accounts payable because I owe money. So scroll up to the accounts payable. And now I am going to enter this in. Invoice number 315. All right, general journal number 4. And this time it is for the total amount of the 362.50. All right, and that should increase my account to 14,765.80. All right. Now that we completed our general ledger, we can now go to our subsidiary ledger. So again, Atlas Coffee is going to be right below all things ceramics. So here we finally received a bill from Atlas Coffee. So today is June 12th, right? here you can place whatever information, right? In this case, I'm going to write 100 pounds of regular. Okay, I forgot the pounds. Regular and 125 pounds supreme coffee. Alright, invoice number once again is 315. Post reference is General Journal number 4. Did I have terms?
Yes.
Okay, what were they?
1% 15, net 30.
1% net 15, 1% 15 net 30. So 1% 15 net 30. Okay, so therefore, what is the discount date? 27th of June. So if I pay within by the 27th of June, I will receive a 1% discount. But if not, when is the actual bill due?
July 12th.
July 12th, okay? No prepaid accounts for this one, but what was the invoice amount for?
$362.50.
$362.50. Again, the formula once again is going to be your invoice minus your prepaid, minus any returns, minus any discounts, minus any payments. So therefore, I owe in grand total to Atlas Coffee is $362.50. Okay, so here it says that for this bill, for bill 315, and also for the down below, is going to tell me that that's what I owe in grand total. All right, now we can go ahead and have fun and place it in the inventory worksheet. All right, let's look at our information real quick. So the first one is the regular coffee. How am I going to calculate my regular coffee? What's my costing method for the regular coffee?
Moving average.
It is moving average. And then what about my supreme coffee? FIFO. Okay, so again, if you look at the inventory worksheet, it's already plugged that information in there for you, just as a reminder. Okay, so if we flip into my regular coffee, here it is, moving average, regular coffee, perpetual. Okay, so let's go ahead and plug in the information here. So I have the date, which is June 12th. I bought 125 pounds. At what cost did I buy them?
$1.35.
$1.35. So what is my purchase price going to be? $168.75. Now I haven't incurred freight just yet, so you can hold on to this because in the next one we will see freight. So just a little heads up, we're gonna pause here and I'm gonna enter in the supreme coffee. All right, same thing here. I'm gonna go ahead and pull this a little bigger so you guys can see it. So we have June 12th. Right, we made a purchase of 125 pounds. At what unit price is my supreme coffee at?
$1.55.
$1.55, bringing my total purchase price to be $193.75. And once again, I'm gonna we're gonna hold off of this because we will look into adding the freight soon. Okay, so there we are at the inventory. So we completed all 3 things. We completed the journal, we completed the ledger, we completed the subsidy ledger, and then lastly, the last one, which is the 4th item, is going to be the inventory worksheet. Okay, We've also updated our purchase orders, so we received our inventory, and that's all we know, right? Let's take a look at our purchase orders real quick. Notice this. We received every single item on the list. So therefore, we have nothing pending, or we're not waiting on anything. Okay? We did not write a check or anything so far, and no money was deposited so far. So we're doing good so far. So let's see what happened next. What happened next?
Got an invoice for the shipping.
We got the invoice from Atlas Coffee. So, all right. So here we received all this. We received a total shipping of $62.50. Right. So once again, in this kind of idea, right, shipping is based on weight. Since we bought equal 125 pounds of each one, we're gonna split the difference. Now, who did we receive this from?
Atlas Coffee.
Not Atlas Coffee. Look at the invoice one more time. Who is the vendor who sent this to us?
Freight Line.
Freight Line. Good. Now, let's take a look at this invoice carefully. All right. So, how are we going to journalize freight for a perpetual inventory?
Like expense?
Okay, not freight expense, because
Perpetual should go into inventory.
it should go straight into inventory. Good. Now, in this case, am I going to place it directly into its specific inventory item?
Yes.
Yes, good. I was going to say Dan, say yes. Good job. So because we're dealing with perpetual inventory, right? No matter where and what expenses that you incur, everything's going to go straight into inventory. So in this case, I'm going to copy it and paste it from above. Okay. So I'm going to place half of the 6250 directly into regular coffee, and also the other half into Supreme Coffee. So what is half of 6250? $31.25. So $31.25. And lastly, how did I pay for this?
With a check.
Accounts payable.
Check.
Okay, not accounts payable. Let's look at the terms one more time. And COD. So we're gonna write a check. So good job, guys. So here, I'm gonna write a check because it's a COD. It's a cash on delivery. So therefore, let's go to our check register. And let's go ahead and write in our check here. So June 12th, I wrote a check for on 15/12 for $62.50. And who did I write this out to?
Freight Line.
Freight Line. Okay, so this is a Californian company. Yep, San Francisco's company. All right. So now we have the check number 1512 here. So let's go ahead and go into my general journal and fill in the rest of the information. So here I have Freight Line. Right? That's who I wrote this out to. Invoice number 482. Check number 1512. And then I'm going to write COD on here. So you guys know that this is a cash on delivery. Right?
Are we going to notate this in our purchase orders as well? Connected to the other one, or?
You can, but it's kind of straightforward because if you have a COD, which we know it's on delivery, right? But we also know that it's related to the coffee because we kind of placed it into the coffee. So it's up to you if you feel that you should attach either the PO number or the actual invoice from Atlas Coffee. It's up to you. If that's something that would make it easier for you to understand, completely okay with me.
I'm just asking.
No worries. Like I said, the description is however much information you want to disclose. Okay, but just know that yeah. So we understand that this is from the for the coffee. So yeah, good. All right. So now that we completed the journal, all right, we got the 6250, the 31. Oh, I didn't even put the checking number 10100. I didn't even put this accounts payable either. 20,000. Perfect. All right, so now that I've entered in my journal, okay, so I'm going to go straight to my ledger. So first things first is we're going to go right back into the regular coffee and the supreme coffee. Okay, so here we are. We left off exactly where the supreme and regular coffee is, and this time I'm going to put in the date. Now, what I'm going to place here is freight cost. All right. General journal number 4, and this time it's for the 3125. So therefore, I'm going to enter in my formula. So once again, it's going to be the previous number or previous amount plus any debits minus any credits. So therefore, I should have a grand total of $200 worth in my regular coffee. Okay. And then, let's see. Here we are. Supreme coffee. Once again, I'm going to place in the date and I'm going to place in freight cost. And general journal number 4 for the 3125. And of course, same thing, up 1 plus any debits minus any credits. So I should have a grand total of $225 even in my supreme coffee. Okay. And then last but not least, we got to scroll all the way up to our checking account because we wrote a check. So here we are. And the date is June 12th. And we wrote a check. Check number 1512. Again, general journal number 4. And we are decreasing once again our account by $62.50. And if we pull this down, that means we have $5,689 left in our bank account. All right. Now that we've done that, we got to go to our subsidiary ledger. And this time, we're going to be looking at freight line. Here we are, freight line. So once again, I'm going to go ahead and put the date. And this is where you can say the coffee, that they delivered the coffee. Give me 1 second. Okay. So again, once again, invoice was 482. And so 482, post reference once again is general journal number 4. All right. Terms. Did they give us terms?
COD.
COD. No, they did not give us any terms, but it is cash on delivery. Okay, COD. All right, therefore, no discount date, no due date. prepaid amounts. Okay, so how much was the bill for?
$62.50.
$62.50. And guess what? We made a payment to it, right? Yes, we did for $62.50. So I'm going to edit this information once again because I forgot to put the check number in here. I wrote a check number 1512. All right. So therefore, once again, the formula is invoice minus prepaid minus returns minus discounts minus payments. So therefore, I owe freight line $0. All right. Okay. Now, last but not least, we could go ahead and update our inventory worksheet. So again, once again, we're going to go to regular coffee. And the freight expense for the regular coffee was the $31.25. So what's my total cost here? $200. All right. So then what is my average cost since I'm doing moving average and right now I only have one batch? So what is my average cost per item? $1.60. So again, I'm going to move it directly into my inventory on hand so I know how much I have at all times. Now, because this is moving average, right? We're going to be constantly calculating my my cost per item. So in this case, I'm going to enter in my formula right here. Okay? So I should always have a formula in the middle of my section here. So I'm always going to have a quantity and I'm always going to have a cost, but I'm always going to be recalculating the average cost because of the idea that we're doing moving average, right? We're constantly selling our items, so we need to readjust our average cost at all times. So in this case, it is at an even $1.60, right? Or $1.60. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and go to my Supreme Coffee, and the freight was $31.25, bringing me a total cost of $225. And because I'm dealing with FIFO, right? Let's see how much is going to be my cost per item for this particular batch. 180. Perfect. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and move this information over. So this one is going to always be a calculated amount for the total cost because, again, we will be changing quantity at all times, right? We're going to be constantly purchasing, constantly selling, so we need to make sure that we are in line with the batches that we are selling. All right, so I'm going to format this once again. I realize I don't need quantity to be in 2 decimal places. Actually, I do. All right, there we are. Okay, so that's how we fill out the inventory worksheet. So again, now notice this. 225 and the 200, right? Those are my numbers. Where else do I see those numbers? You see them in your ledger. So this is where I may have mentioned it before. Maybe I have not. But this is where you're going to be using the inventory worksheet and your general ledger to be your guidance point, as in your checking point to make sure that your accounting and your calculations are accurate, right? Every time you update the inventory, you're always going to make sure that at the end of the day, your ledger matches at all times. So this is going to be your point of reference for you to match and constantly know, did you do the calculations right? When you enter it in, is it going to reflect the same way? Because remember, we enter it here, right? We could be off a penny, we could be rounding off. It depends, right? Because in our ledger, it's always going to be a solid number because we're typing things in here. In our inventory worksheet, we have to format it to make sure it reflects that way. So in this case, this is once again, it's your point of reference to make sure that you are correctly doing the inventory worksheet correct at all times. So make sure that you check your ledger because, yes, all right, this is where you'll get the correct answer. All right, any questions so far? Okay. So once we actually sell our coffee, which is going to be next week, so you guys going to be on your own for that one. I'm going to try to groom you guys to be the bookkeeper slash accountant. So with that being said, the next week of Coffee Cafe, which again, we might start tomorrow, right? You guys are going to tell me what to do, all right? So it's going to be a group effort, and I'm going to gear you towards the right answer, obviously. And I'll let you know yes or no. Okay? So let's go ahead. Now that we complete that transaction, let's see what happened next. So we're still, okay, so here we're on the 13th. What did we do?
We hired
Who did we hire?
Silver State Electrical.
Okay, to work on what?
Electrical wiring.
Yes, so what is this one for? It's for your coffee grinder. Okay. So, do we need to journalize this entry?
No.
No, we only hired them. There's no bill. We don't know how much it's going to be. And, yes. All right. Good. So let's see what happened next on the same day, 13th. What happened next?
We received the bill from LV Remodeling.
Company for what?
Working condition.
Okay, good. And how much was the bill for?
$15.60.
All right. Now, let's ask this question. Why did I hire LV Remodeling for the foundation? What was that for?
For the grinder.
For the coffee grinder. Now, where is my coffee grinder currently located?
It's still in miscellaneous.
It is currently in miscellaneous suspense. So in this case, because this is going to be a cost to the coffee grinder itself to get it ready for service, I'm going to place it wherever the coffee grinder is. So in this case, I'm going to be taking this bill and I'm going to be entering it into the miscellaneous suspense. But what else? I am not going to pay it until in 4 days. So therefore, I have an accounts payable. Okay, so let's go ahead and enter this in here. So again, the date is now June 13. All right. We're going to place it where the coffee grinder is, which is in miscellaneous suspense. Okay. And of course, the we're paying it later, so accounts payable. Okay. All right. We also have pretty much everything that we have here, so you can do your description as well. So I could say this is from LV Remodeling. Right? Invoice number 1760. All right. Net for foundation for grinder. Okay. All right. So what are my account numbers for miscellaneous expense?
19990.
19990. All right. And my accounts payable account
20,000.
20,000. And for each account, how much am I going to how much was the electrical work for the coffee grinder? How much was the bill for?
1560.
1560. All right. There we are at. Okay. Is everyone good with me so far?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. So next is we're gonna go to our ledger. Okay. So now we have to go to our miscellaneous expense. So that's gonna be an asset all the way down to the very bottom. All right, here we are at miscellaneous expense. This is June 13, and you could put whatever you like in here. You could say foundation for grinder. Invoice number 1760. Okay. General journal number 4 still. And we increased it by 1560. So let's see how much the coffee grinder is now. Right now it's sitting in our miscellaneous expense at 1528.07. So by adding this extra, you should have 3,088.07 right now. Okay. And then lastly, because we placed it on accounts payable, we're going to edit our accounts payable. It is June 13. Invoice number 1760. Okay. General journal number 4. And we owe 1560, bringing our account balance to be $16,325.89. So we just keep racking up our bills right now. So luckily, some are due now, some are due at the end of the month, some are due the next month. So now that we completed the ledger, let's go ahead and enter this in my subsidiary ledger. So once again, we're going to visit LV Remodeling. So down below, LV Remodeling. No. Where are you? There you go. LV Remodeling. I found them. Alright. So once again, the date. So in this case, I put foundation. For grinder. Invoice number 1760. General journal number 4. And we also got the same thing, net 4. So when is the discount date? We don't have one. So when is the total bill actually due?
June 17th.
June 17th, all right? And we got an invoice amount for 1560, and we didn't make a payment. So therefore, let's pull my formula down. I owe another 1560. bringing my grand total to owe $3,450 even. Okay. All right. Let's go ahead and see what happened next. Okay. So what happened next here?
Oh, yeah, please hire them.
We're going to contact with higher attempts to get one employee, or not one employee, one temporary worker, okay, to work 8 hours per day from the 17th through the 19th of June, okay, at $10.50 per hour, all right? And the payment due is on the 21st of June. So we have here information right here that's due on the 21st of June. Payment is due on the 21st of June. So here, what kind of information is this? Can we journalize this?
No, not yet.
No, not yet. We only hired them. However, this is definitely something that you want to keep in your notes to the financial statements, right? Because you hired a temporary worker. Okay? Now, what I can do here is I'm going to place this in my temporary work for my ledger, just so that I have an idea of what to expect and not forget about it. So again, this is going to be under labor expense. Okay, and if you keep scrolling down, it's going to be under the main account is labor expense, but the sub account is going to be the temporary worker, temporary labor expense. So here in the notes or the items, I'm going to place one person, right? $10.50 per hour. Or well, actually, they're working 8 hours. 8 hours for 2 days at $10.50 per hour. Okay. Don't put the due date yet because we haven't received the bill yet, but this is just definitely something that you want to keep in mind, that you have this information, that you're hiring a one person to work 8 hours for 2 days at $10.50 per hour. All right, that's just a note that you want to keep in your notes for the financial statements, but I'm going to place it in my ledger because I don't have the notes to the financial statements. I'm going to keep this in my ledger, so then again, when I receive the bill, I know exactly what the content is. All right? All right. So then we finally reached the 14th. All right. So what happened here?
We picked up our flyers.
We picked up our flyers. Okay, what was the total bill for?
50.
Well, what was the total bill for?
100.
$100, but we made an advance payment, right? Or we made a deposit or a down payment. So in this case, now my new total bill should be $50. So I'm going to pay $50 with the remaining balance off with my credit card. So in this case, I picked up my flyers, so I've actually incurred an advertising expense. All right? But because I made a down payment, I have to redeem my voucher. So in this case, right, I'm redeeming my voucher on the 14th. So I am encountering advertising expense because I actually have the flyers. I actually have advertising. All right? I'm going to redeem my voucher, which is my prepaid accounts. And how am I making a payment? how am I paying off the rest amount?
So,
We're
Visa.
paying, yes, we're paying with a Visa credit card. Okay. So, yes, we've seen all these accounts before. So let's go ahead and let's confirm in our chart of accounts. What is my advertising expense account?
60,000.
All right. What about my prepaid accounts?
18,600.
18,600. And lastly, what is my credit card payable account?
22,000.
22,000. All right. And you have pretty much enough information here as well. So here, city printers, for 2,000, flyers, and that's pretty much it. All right. Now, for how much was my total advertising expense for? What was the total bill for?
$100.
$100, right? How much was my voucher or my prepayment was for? 50. And lastly, how much am I paying the remaining off with? 50. So there you go. My debits match my credits. Okay? So here, because I'm redeeming all 2,000 flyers right now, I actually have the advertising expense. I have the total advertising expense, right? So here we go. Let's go add this information into the general ledger. Okay. So first things first is my advertising expense. I'm already in my expenses, so I'm going to scroll all the way up. And I'm going to note this here, that on the 14th of June, I actually now have the 2,000 flyers. Okay? And general journal number 4. And now I've increased it by $100. So therefore, by adding 1 up plus any debits minus any credits, I should have a total of $185 worth of advertising expense. Okay. Now I'm going to go ahead and go down to my assets because I redeemed my voucher for the prepaid amounts. So I'm going to scroll up till I find prepaid accounts. All right, here we are, prepaid accounts. June 14. All right. I don't know what to place here, but you could say you picked up advertising flyers. General journal number 4. And this time it's a credit of 50. So therefore you should be now back down to the 6654.17. Okay. And then lastly, we paid it on our Visa credit card. So we're going to enter this in our liabilities. Here's my Visa credit card. Okay. June 14. And then again, 50% on 2,000 flyers, remaining 50% on 2,000 flyers. General journal number 4. And again, it's for the net other $50. So now we've increased my credit card bill to now $185. Okay. And last but not least, we got to go to our subsidiary ledger and visit City Printers, which is going to be somewhere from at the top. City Printers. Here we are. City Printers. The date is the 14th. All right. Remaining 50% on 2,000 flyers. And I paid with the Visa. Okay. No invoice. General journal number 4. And once again, since we paid it with a credit card, right? It's assumed that we made a payment. We already paid it off. So again, once again, so this is now where we can actually take our $50 and place it into the prepaid accounts, because that's exactly what we did, right? We bought a voucher, now we redeemed our voucher, right? The original bill due was $100, and we also made a payment of $50. So therefore, our total amount that we owe is still 0. Now notice this. If I didn't make a payment, right, I owe $50. Okay, so that's how the formula works, is you're taking the original amount or your invoice amount, and everything that is affecting it would be your prepaid accounts, your returns and allowances, discounts and payments. Those subtract from your actual original invoice. So in this case, I paid with a Visa credit card, so I owe nothing. So that's how the formula works in this kind of sense. Okay? Any questions here? You're going to always put the original invoice amount, any discounts or any deductions to that invoice is going to be placed in here. Right? All right. Any questions so far? Okay. Back to our journal. All right, now that we finally received our advertising flyers, let's see what has happened next. So what happened next?
Purchase from restaurant supplies.
We bought from Restaurant Supplies. So what did we buy from them?
1,000 medium cup, coffee cup.
Yes.
And 1,000 large coffee cups.
Yes, we did, okay? And the price point is right here. So $50 for the 1,000 medium cups. And then we also charged $75 for the large cups, okay? Subtotal is $125. We got tax for $10.31. And lastly, total due is $135.31. Okay, and how did we pay them?
Credit card.
We paid with a credit card. So this is going to be considered business supplies. Now let's go ahead and check our chart of accounts. Do we have business supplies?
Yes.
Yes, and 1,750.
Yes, but do we have specific business supplies? So business supplies could be the main account. Is it broken down to sub-accounts?
Yeah.
Yes. We have medium cups and we have large cups. So right here, 11,760 and 11,765 is going to be our two things that we have here. So now that we do have that, we're going to consider them, right? It's an asset, right? This is cups that we're using for supplies. All right. So here, the 14th. Let me see. 1, 2, 3. Perfect. All right. We're just ending our page 4 just perfectly. So here, I'm going to place in medium coffee cups, right? For the 11,760. All right. I also have the large coffee cups. All right, for 11,765. Okay, And lastly, I paid with a Visa credit card. Okay, for 22,000. Now, in grand total, how much do I owe?
135.31.
Okay, so because we got charged tax, how are you going to split the tax between the 2 coffee cups? How are you going to split the tax amongst the 2 coffee cups?
Proportionally.
So in this case, 50 times 1.0825. How much tax is going to be for the medium cups?
It's going to come to 54.13.
54.13, okay. And then, of course, if you want to do simple math, you can solve for the remaining by subtracting from the total amount. So if you have a total of 135.15, right, or 135.31, you could just subtract that. You don't have to recalculate the tax again because you're already given the receipt amount. So that means I have a total of 81.18 for the large coffee cups. And you can always double check that by actually multiplying out the tax for that if you'd like. But 81.18 is what I got. Yes?
Yes.
Okay. Last but not least, let's fill in the description. So here, I'm going to write restaurant supplies. This one, I'm going to write that I bought 2,000 cups, coffee cups. And that's it. All right, so here we reach the end of page 4. So that means the next transaction is going to be on page 5. So let's go ahead and place this in our ledger. So this time we're actually receiving our asset, which is a business supply. So let's see. Here we are, business supplies. I'm on the wrong one. Assets. So I have accounts receivable. Here we are, business supplies, medium coffee cups. All right, 14. We purchased 1,000 cups. Okay. Post reference general journal number 4. And we debit this account by $54.13. So therefore, your beginning balance is $54.13. Okay. Here we are, right below it is going to be the large coffee cup. So again, we're going to put the date as June 14. And the item is that we purchased 1,000 cups. Okay. Post reference once again is General Journal 4, and it was for $18.80. Oh, what? No, sorry, wrong one. $81.18. All right. Boom. Okay. Then we got to go update our credit card because we placed another credit card purchase here. So here, 14, I bought 2,000 coffee cups. All right, general journal number 4, and it was for the grand total amount of $135.31. All right, which now we increased our credit card balance to be now $320.31. All right. Last but not least, we have to update our subsidiary ledger. And this time we went to restaurant supplies. So let's see. Restaurant supplies. All right, restaurant supplies. So, is this our first encounter for restaurant supplies?
No.
No. We actually owe them money for a cash register. So, in this case, I'm just going to go ahead and fill in the 2,000 coffee cups. All right. And I'm also going to note that I paid with the Visa credit card. There's no invoice. General journal number 4. All right. And the total amount on the invoice was $135.31. And again, if I want to make a payment, I did make a payment with my Visa credit card. So therefore, I should owe $0. But if I pull the formula down, I owe $0. Okay, so that went wrong. This is not supposed to be like that. This is... Oh, I placed it in the wrong amount. Okay. $135.31. There you go. Now I owe $0. Okay. But in grand total, I should actually still owe that amount. So equal sum. And I want to know how much I owe restaurant supplies at all times. So that means no matter where I'm at, even though I made a payment to the supplies, I still owe $649.49. Okay. All right. Let's see what else happened next. Okay. All right. Last but not least, we have an owner's withdrawal. Okay. So the owner decides to take $1,500 from the bank. All right. And the best way to conduct this, or the best way to do it, is to write a check, right? And cash it out, or either deposit it into the proper person's bank account. So this is a owner's withdrawal. So what do we do here? If the owner's going to take money, what are the 2 accounts that you're going to need? Let's look at our chart of accounts. We did an owner's withdrawal. We took money away from the company. So what account is that?
Owner's withdrawal account.
Yes.
32.
Specifically, it's an equity account, right? Because we're decreasing the value of our company because we're taking money out of our company. But yes, good. Owner's withdrawal. Okay? And it's for 32,000 for the account. But lastly, how are you going to pay this person? How are you going to pay the owner? Checking, yes. So if you guys remember from our lesson, right, you always want to keep your personal assets and your your business assets completely separate, or business transactions separate from your personal transactions. So in this case, the proper way for you to go ahead and secure that there is no fraud going on, even though you are, whoever is the owner of the company, right? They need to take this extra measure so then it doesn't look like they're stealing from their own company. As funny as it sounds, but yes, they can directly go to their bank account and withdraw the money, but how are they going to justify it, right? They could justify it by doing the same thing here. Instead of writing a check, right, they could justify it in their journals that they took an owner's withdrawal. But most cases, you always want some kind of form of paper trail. So, you'll have your withdrawal deposit, but that what proof can you write a message on a withdrawal receipt? No, you can't. So the most proper way to do this is you want to make sure that you write a check to the owner and have the owner deposit it in their own checking account for it to be a legitimate transaction, right? Okay, but there are some rules and guidelines on that because, again, now they make it so much easier for, having the bank account on their phone. They can Zelle people or transfer money just instantly, but still, that's still considered fraud or, borderline fraud, all right? So in this case, we're going to write a check. So, checking is 10,100. And for what amount am I going to be withdrawing for? How?
1,500.
1,500. He's going to take 1,500 away from the company. All right. So let's go ahead and go to the check register. So I'm going to make up a character. All right. For those who were in my previous QuickBooks class, you know who he is. Let's go ahead and write the amount here, and the owner of the company is Mr. Bob Mason. Okay, he was a customer in QuickBooks. Now he's the owner of this company. So again, when you guys move into the QuickBooks section, you'll recognize Bob Mason a lot. All right, so now that I wrote the check out to Bob Mason, I wrote check number 1513. So now I'm going to go to my general journal and I'm going to plug that information in. So again, owner withdrew from company, comma, check number 1513. Was it 1513?
Yeah.
Yes. 1513. All right. So now we got to go transfer this into our ledger once again. Okay. So owners withdraw first. So it's an equity account. We only have one equity account that we used so far. It's our original investment. Now we're going to scroll down. Okay, we didn't make any capital contributions, meaning deposit even more money. But we actually withdrew from the account. So here, I'm under owner's withdrawal. Date is the 14th. And I'm going to go ahead and write check number 1513. Same thing, general journal number 4. Oh, wait, no, it's general journal number 5. We started a new one. Okay. And we're going to debit the account by $1,500. So therefore, the total amount that he withdrew was $1,500. Okay. So here the boss, his justification is that he's been working so hard, making all those phone calls, connecting with all these people so he can build his company. So now he's saying, well, I deserve to get paid $1,500, right? So there you go. Even though I haven't made any money yet, I've just spent all the money, I deserve $1,500, right? And then last but not least, you're going to go to your checking account because you wrote the check. All right, 1614, 614. Check number 1513. General Journal. I'm having typing issues. General Journal number 5. And this time we're decreasing our amount by $1,500. So therefore now Bob Mason left the company with just $4,188.92 left. All right. Now, question to you: do we need to update our subsidiary ledger? All right. So, do we need to update our subsidiary ledger? No. Why?
The owner's not treated like an employee, right?
Exactly. The owner is definitely not an employee. The owner is definitely not a customer, and he can't technically be an employee. He cannot be on the payroll system because he owns the company. All right, that's a rule and guideline that you need to know because him and the company is one. Okay, so there you are. All right, so save your work. Okay, because we reached the end and we need to complete a trial balance. So I'm gonna go ahead and call break. So right now it's 9:45. Let's call break, and so 20 minutes from now, so 10:05, and then we'll complete the trial balance from there. Okay?
Thank you.